Alright, today we're going to be going through the Edge of Eternities set, just looking at the white cards from the spoilers. We have the full set library, so we're going to be able to look through a couple things. Starting us off, we have the All Fate Stalker, 4 mana uncommon 2/3 that's going to be able to exile a non-assassin creature or until it leaves the battlefield, or you can warp it. So that's going to go in pretty much every white deck you're going to be playing in Limited. It's a body, it's removal, it has extra text, and that's what we live in Magic right now. As much text as possible. So in our rare slot, we have a Stelly Reclaimer. 3 white, rare, Angel Warrior, 5/4 flying, which is already just great for Limited. When this creature enters, return target non-creature, non-land permanent card with a mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this creature. That makes sense. So you can do it for the 5 or the 3, but paying 3 mana for a 5/4 kind of just seems great. But yeah, this is going to have some really fun interactions because that is just such a small mana value. We have it in the special art. So I did see this one when I pulled this page up before recording, and I think this is sick. So auxiliary boosters as a common, like, I understand it's 5, but you get a 2/2 auto equip and has flying and is boosted. That's sick. All right. I'm just a fan. I'm going to be playing this. I like it. It's solid. Banishing Light is a reprint we have seen many of times. And just solid. It's in the common slot, which is awesome. Art is cool, and you can pick it. It's pretty much legal in every format. So, you know, you can put them to the side into the playables. You have Beyond Quiet Sorcery for 5 at rare, and it's going to exile, keyword exile, all creatures and spacecraft. So we haven't gotten to the spacecrafts yet, but the additional keyword is definitely going to be relevant. It has its own special art. We have Bright Spirit Zealot, a human soldier for 3. That's a 2/4 with vigilance, and it can get +2/+0 if we're casting a bunch of spells. So I'm excited to see what color combo works well with white to be casting a bunch of spells. Alright, we have our first mythic, Cosmogrand Zenith for 3 mana 2/4. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, choose 1. Create 2/1. That's a lot. Okay, 2. Okay. Or put a +1 counter on each creature you control. I'm obsessed with this card already. I'm gonna see if we can play some cool spell Convoke's leaving, but the other Convoke cards are still there, so maybe some mono white action in a standard? Question mark? Gonna play blue white? I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. We'll figure it out. Oh, and it has a sick art. Okay. Alright, for 6 mana uncommon, lifelink 4/5. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, put +1 counter on each creature you control other than this creature. That's cool. Alright, so more token synergy. White's gonna want to go wide. We're seeing that as a theme already. 2 mana artifact creature robot common 1/1. When this creature enters with a +1 counter. Alright, and whether it's the +1 counter or additional counters end up on this guy, when it dies, you get to move those counters elsewhere. I'm a fan. Down. Dual Sun Adepts. 3 mana 2/2 double strike uncommon, and you can pump your team for 5 more than once if you have that much mana. That's cool. So very aggressively in the token strategy. Dual Sun Technique. Target creature you control gets double strike until end of turn, and if it has a counter on it, you draw a card. Alright. That is a very good 2 mana instant. It's uncommon. We're probably always playing it. Emergency Eject, 3 mana instant, uncommon, destroy target land permanent. Its controller creates a lander token. It's an artifact with 2, sacrifice this token. Ooh, that's cool. What's a lander token look like? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I didn't even know that was a thing yet. It's pretty interesting. Search your library for a basic land card, put in a shuffle. Huh. Its controller, destroy target non-land permanent, doesn't say your opponent controls, so you can honestly use this for fixing in your own deck, which is cool. Ooh, a mythic for 5/5. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, create twice that many on a body. It has warp. That's cool. I like that. Flying in lifelink. Chef's kiss. Oh, we have pretty arts? Oh, we have pretty arts. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. So we have the regular art. We have extended art. I assume these are just different foilings. Exosuit Savior. 3 mana, 2/2 fly. When this creature enters, return up to one target permanent you control to its owner's hand. Up to, remember, so you can choose 0. Flight Deck Coordinator. 3 mana, 3/3. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, gain 2 life. That's just solid. I don't know what you want. It's a common. It's called Focus a Fire. 1 mana instant. It deals X damage to target attacking or blocking creature where X is 2+ creatures and spacecrafts you control. So it's always going to be doing 2. Alright, which is already great. Deal 2 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Yeah, it's just great. Halia, Guided by Light, rare, 3 mana, 3/3. When this creature or another creature or artifact you control enters, you gain 1 life. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card if you gain 3 or more life. Warp 1, that's interesting. These are some pretty good cards. Hard Light Containment, a 1 mana enchantment aura, and we're enchanting an artifact that we control. This aura enters, exile target creature and opponent leaves under this aura. Enchanted permanent has ward 1. Okay. Removal spell, goes on a body, and gives it ward, which is nice. I have seen this one on social media. People are definitely a fan of the 1 mana, put counter on, and draw a card. It is a sorcery, but we love counters and drawing cards, especially just with what we're looking at in white for this limited format. Honored Knight Captain, 2 mana, 1/1. When this enters, create a 1/1. You can also sack for 6. Search your library for an equipment card and put it onto the battlefield and shuffle. We've already seen equipments that when they come in, they create creatures. So you're not even necessarily losing a creature on the field. And we have a common Night Luminary. When it enters, we're going to get a 1/1. It has warp for 2. So you need that 1/1 on turn 2. You got it. Alright, we have a 1 mana, 2/1 Vigilance Rare with more text. When this creature enters, each opponent exiles a card from their hand and may play that card as long as it remains exiled. Each spell cast this way costs 1 more to catch. Each land played this way also enters tapped. That's cool. That's cool. It definitely is going to make interactions a little bit more interesting. Alright, our first spacecraft, 2 mana. Alright, it's a 3/5. When it gets there. Station. Tap another creature you control, put a charge counter equal to its power on this spacecraft. Station only as a sorcery. It's an artifact creature at 12+. So remember, it's only an artifact that's hanging out, chilling, 2 mana. Doesn't do anything until you start using station. Alright, so that's a very important thing to remember, especially when you go to pre-release. You want to make sure that your opponent is not casting this for 2 mana and thinking they have a 3/5 on the field. Alright? You want to make sure that it's relevant. Alright, Lux Knight Breacher. Open! 4 mana, 2/2. When it enters with a counter on it for each other creature and/or artifact you control. Alright. He's a 4 mana big guy. He's going to be big. Often, this is not going to be a 2/2. Alright, white, colorless artifact. When this enters, exile all artifacts and creatures with mana 2 or less until this leaves the battlefield. Okay, that's kind of wild. 6, 7, 8 mana. Put each card exiled with this artifact and into its owner's graveyard. Then create a 2/2 for each card put into a graveyard this way and sack this artifact. That's crazy. That's crazy. This is just a rare. Huh. Yeah, this makes sense. You want to open this card. Just for limited and to just have it in your collection. It's going to be solid. Pulsar Squadron Ace. 2 mana, 1/2. Chunky text. When this creature enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a spacecraft from among them and put the rest into your hand. Put the rest onto the... Or put into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If you didn't put a card into your hand this way, put a +1/+1. Okay. So you can fizzle or not take something if you really don't want to and get a counter. Which is fine. It's actually pretty nice. You can flop and, like, still get some type of benefit. Radiant Strike, we've seen destroy target artifact or tapped creature. And you gain 3 life. It's a 4 mana instant, but we like it. It will always be a removal that has strike in it. Ray Blade Trooper, 3 mana 2/2 uncommon. When it enters, you're gonna put a +1 on target creature you control. Whenever a non-token creature you control with a +1 counter on it dies, create a 1/1 human soldier token. That's gonna be a lot of board state to watch out for. Reroute Systems, 1 mana instant. We're gonna choose one. We're either gonna give target artifact or creature indestructible, or we're gonna deal 2 damage to target tapped creature. Seems pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, we got another spacecraft at uncommon this time. And it's going to be 6, and when it gets 10+, it's going to be 5/6. When it enters, you're going to return target creature enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Not even to your hand, it's going straight to the battlefield, so that in itself is just nice. And having that kind of effect, like, I understand target enchantment to the battlefield. That makes sense in white, but you're also getting the creature, so that's pretty solid. We're going to have Scout for Survivors in white. Sorcery for 3. Return up to 3 target creature cards with total mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1 counter on each of them. Alright, so we're just negating what I just said. We're putting all the creatures from the graveyard right up onto the battlefield. We have Seam Rip. Alright, so this card is actually sick. It's a 1 mana enchantment at uncommon, and when this enchantment enters, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls with mana value 2 or less until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. Alright, we'll take it. We'll take it. Squire's Light Blade is a white common. It's an artifact equipment with flash. When this equipment enters, attach it to target creature you control. The creature gains first strike until end of turn, and it also has +1/+0. The equip is for 3. Solid enough. Really synergy. Nice. It gives a nice amount of synergy for the white equipment decks. Definitely playable. 5 mana 3/2 uncommon Flying Angel. When this creature enters, search your library for a basic plains card or a creature with mana value 1 or less. Reveal it and put it in your hand and shuffle. Also has Warp 2. And a pretty art. From the promo packs. Alright, Starfighter Pilot. 2 mana 2/2. When it becomes tapped, you get to surveil one. Alright, that's just a solid card. I don't know much else to say about that. Starport Security, 1 mana 1/1. For 4, tap another target creature. This ability costs 2 less to activate if you control a creature. Okay. So for 2, you can tap. That's fine. Hopefully in this deck you're having counters on your creatures. Sunstar Chaplain. For 2 mana 3/2 at rare. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. 2 mana. Remove 1/+1 counter from a creature you control. Tap target artifact or creature. That's definitely going to make things difficult in combat. Sunstar Expansionist. 2 mana uncommon 2/3. When this creature enters, if an opponent controls more lands than you, create a lander token, which we think is sick. Oh, we have landfall back in this set. Whenever a land you control enters, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Alright. I see you. Alright, and then we have Sunstar Lightsmith. A 4-mana 3/3 uncommon. Whenever you cast your second spell on each turn, put a +1 counter on this creature and draw a card? Alright, so white really likes you playing your second spell each turn, and you're getting really rewarded for that. Alright, we have the Serima for white colorless. Legendary artifact spacecraft. When it enters, search your library for a legendary creature card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle. When you get it to station 7+, it's a 5/5 flyer, and other tapped legendary creatures you control are indestructible. So once you send them to combat, they're pretty strong. We're going to have Wedgelight Rammer. Interesting. A 4-mana uncommon spacecraft. When it enters, create a 2/2. And when you get it to 9+, it gets flying, first strike, and it's a 3/4. Weft Blade Enhancer, a 6-mana 3/4 common. When it enters, you put a +1 counter on up to 2 target creatures, and has warp 3. Alright, and our last one in white is a Zealous Display. It's a 3-mana instant. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. If it's not your turn, untap those creatures. That's crazy. Oh, combat's gonna be so tricky. I love it already. I can't wait to draft these decks. Let me know if you end up playing a white in your pre-release deck this weekend.